If you're watching this video, it's because you were absent yesterday in class and you missed the directions for the graphic novel project for night. Okay, so the project is a summative project. It's worth 50 points. Okay, this project is intended to help your grade. 90% of students get an A. So if you do your best, then you will most likely receive an A and boost your grade a little. Okay, so the job that you have is to create a comic book related to the book that we just finished, Night. You have time to work in class, however, it might require some outside of time too. Okay, your project has to be at least 3 pages long with 3 boxes to a page. I'll explain that in a minute. For a total of 9 to 12 boxes. If you want to make it longer, you're more than welcome to. Essentially, you're picking the scene or event that you feel would be best represented visually. So much like any other comic that you've ever read or seen, you have to have dialogue and you have to have narration from that scene. I understand that some of you are not the greatest artists in the world, and that is perfectly okay, but it doesn't excuse you from at least trying. Stick figures are totally acceptable. You could also maybe trace photos or use visual symbol representations instead of drawing people if you're not very good with people. Okay. In addition to the comic itself, you will need to design a cover. You will complete your cover on Monday in class. The entire project is due on March 19th, next Tuesday. Okay, you only get until then to work on this project in class. So here's a quick example. Mine is not about night, okay, but it is the same type of project. You're still making a graphic representation of a chapter in Night. Okay, so you can see this page has 4 boxes. They can be different sizes, they can be the same. If you look at the third one, you can see I split it in 2 to kind of give a different effect of what's going on in 2 different locations. I used lots of boxes here. I've traced it in black marker. I've colored it so it all looks nice. You can see that I have some narration, like went to the beach, made unforgettable memories, but I also have dialogue, like in the last section where these 2 characters are speaking to each other. You need to have a mix of both, summary of what's happening in that scene and the characters discussing. Okay. The last thing you need to look at in Schoology is the planning guide. Okay, this is the boxes that you need to plan out your project. Okay, so I'm going to show you my example. So what you're doing is you're deciding what chapter you want to do your project over. So for example, chapter 3, and then in each of the boxes, all you're doing is writing what happens in each of those pieces, or is what's going to happen in your project. So for example, I'm going to start with the transport in the cattle cars. And then the next box I'm going to draw is them arriving in camp. And the next box is them separating the men and the women. Okay, and then so on and so forth. Okay, I've included some notes down here about what kind of things you might be able to draw for each of the chapters, trying to help you brainstorm, get some ideas of what you might produce for your project. So if you want to use these notes, you're more than welcome to pause this video and use these notes to assist you. Okay, remember you can use any chapter from chapter 1 all the way to chapter 9. Okay, if you have questions, ask your classmates for some assistance if you need it.